Hello and welcome back to the Learning Corner. It is I, Kristopher McCoy here, reading to you Every Day is Friday by Joel Osteen. How to have a happy days, 7 days a week. How to be happier 7 days a week. We're on chapter 5. We're going to enjoy the journey. Here we go, y'all. A friend of mine received an invitation to visit the White House and met with the president. He was very excited about this great honor. But then his son's basketball team won the division and they kept advancing to higher levels. And it just so happened that the state championship on the same day my friend was supposed to go to Washington. So he had to decide whether to stay and see his son play or to meet with the President of the United States. He could have the thought, well, I can watch the game later by video, I can call and get an update, I could probably hear it on the radio. Instead, he didn't think twice. He had his staff inform the president's office that he would not be able to attend. He went to his son's game, and it turned out to be very exciting and very close match. The two teams exchanged leads several times throughout the game, and with just a few seconds remaining, his son's team won down by 1 point. His son's team down by 1 point. It looked like they would come up short, but in the final seconds, his son hit the game-winning shot, and they won the state championship. Afterward, my friend said, I would not have traded that moment for anything in the world, not even meeting with the president. Life is not really about getting to a destination. It's about how we live along the way. It's easy to become so goal-oriented and so focused on our dreams that we overlook the simple things we should be enjoying each day. Life is a journey. There is no such thing as a finish line. Once we accomplish this dream, God will give us another. When we overcome that challenge, there will be another. There is always another mountain to climb. If you make this mistake of living just for the destination, you will look up one day and realize you missed out on the biggest part of life. Most of life is routine. Most of us get up every morning, go to work, come home, eat dinner, go to bed, and then do it all again. There are very few mountaintops. You graduate from school, you get married, you have a child. The high times are few and far between. But many people live only for the mountaintops. They're so focused on earning promotions, they work night and day. They don't really enjoy their families. They're so stressed raising their children, they don't enjoy their children. They're so caught up in solving daily problems, they don't enjoy the best moments of each day. Slow down and enjoy the journey. This is what I had to do. Before I was married, I traveled overseas with my father a couple times a year. I lived for those big trips. I couldn't wait. When one trip was over, I immediately started counting down to the months and the weeks and hurried through the days to get to the next trip. One day I realized I was hurrying through life, just trying to get my big events. Of course, it's good to have things to look forward to. It's good to have goals in front of you, but don't put your life on hold until those things happen. Enjoy each day along the way. Former football star Deion Sanders had a dream to win the Super Bowl. That's what he wanted more than anything else. He trained and trained year after year, working tirelessly. One day his dream came true, and it came to pass. His team, the San Francisco 49ers, that's right, I remember that year, won the Super Bowl after 1994 season. After the big celebration, he was so disappointed. Is this all that it is? He thought, I've worked and reached the pinnacle of my career. I thought it would be different. Yes, I'm happy. Yes, God has blessed me. But it's just not what I thought it would be. Some spend their whole lives trying to reach a goal, only to find out it's not what it's all cracked up to be. My friend, the real joy is in the simple things. It is in being with your family, getting up early and seeing the sunrise, taking a walk through the park, taking your daughter to lunch, going on a bike ride with your spouse. Of course, the goals and accomplishments bring us a sense of satisfaction, but they're only temporary. You can't live off your Super Bowls. You can't live off your big events because after you savor them for a moment, God will birth a new dream in your heart, something new to look forward to. I've talked to many people who made it to very top in their field. The one common regret I hear is that they succeeded, but at the expense of their families. They say, if I could do it over again, I would make time to stop and smell the roses. I would be there for my children's Little League games. I wouldn't live so stressed and uptight thinking, if I could just get to the next level. Then I'll slow down and enjoy my life. Slow down and enjoy the journey right now. Take time for the people God has put in your life. They won't always be there. The scripture says in James 4:14 that our lives are like a mist. We're here for a moment and then we're gone. Every day, tell your spouse, your children, those who mean the most to you, how much you love them. I told Victoria the other day how much I appreciated her coming in and listening to me speak every service. A while back, we were out of town holding services. Then we returned to Lakewood Church and did 3 services on the weekend. And I figured she would have heard my same message 8 times in a row. Listen, after 8 times, I've even tried of it. I've even I'm even tired of it. But she sits there 3 services every week, and she laughs at my same jokes each time, as though it's the first time she's heard them. I know she's faking it, but at least she's faking it to make me feel good. Every day, tell your spouse, your children, those who mean the most to you, how much you love them. I don't take that for granted. Make sure that people in your life know how much you appreciate their sacrificing and supporting you. After all, you wouldn't be where you are if somebody wasn't paying the price to help you move further down the road. My mother is another great example of this support. Ever since, ever, every service when I'm preaching, I hear her egging me on from the front row. Under her breath, she's constantly whispering, "That's good, Joel." It doesn't matter what I'm talking about, I'm her son. She's thinking everything I say is great. Why I can say that the congregation, why I can say to the congregation, "You may be seated," and my mom will say, "Oh, that's excellent today, Joel." I wouldn't be where I am today without those who have sown into my life. I've never taken for granted those closest to me, my family, my friends, my coworkers, all those making sacrifices so I can fulfill what God has put me in, what God has put in my heart. Focus on what is truly important. Many people these days are making a living, but they're not really making their lives. They're working all the time, living stressed out, bringing the tension home, too busy to enjoy what God has given them. Understand that when you come to the end of your life, most likely there will still be work to be done at the office. Your inbox will still be full. Your work will never be finished. If you don't make your family and those you love a high priority to enjoy, to spend time with, to invest in, then you will miss out on what matters most in your final days here on this earth. The job won't keep you company. Your family will. But if you spend all your time just investing in a career, giving the best of your life and energy to build a business, then your lack of investment in what matters most, your family, could leave you a very lonely person. It's good to be focused and driven. It's good to be a hard worker. But it is important that you know how to put your work aside. Walk away and say, "You know what? This work will still be at the office tomorrow. So I'll do my best today. I'm working hard, but I'm playing hard. I'm enjoying my family. I'm having fun with my children. If you don't make this decision, your family will have only your leftover time and your leftover energy. They deserve better. If you take the stress from the office home with you, the whole house will tense up. Don't let don't let mistreatment at work or what you don't get done sour your day so badly that you take it out on your family. Leave that at the office. I don't know about you, but I would rather make less money and enjoy my life and enjoy my family than to be so overwhelmed. I never have any extra energy. There are plenty of opportunities I decline because I don't want my life to go by in a blur. I don't want my children to grow up without knowing me. I don't want to be so busy that I cannot come home and work out or take a walk through the park or stay up and look at the stars or get up early and hear the birds singing. People realize that I am very goal-oriented, disciplined person. I do just what I'm asking you to do. I have trained myself to slow down and enjoy the journey. Zigzagging through life. As a teenager, Frank Lloyd Wright, who became a famous architect, was walking through a snow-covered field with his uncle one day. They were headed to a house, but along the way, Frank veered off and stopped by a barn to see the animals. Then he went over to a pond and took a look at that. Then he saw a fort off in the distance. He went out of his way to see he went out of his way to see that. When he finally caught up with his uncle across the snow-covered field, his uncle said, "Now, Frank, I want to teach you a lesson. Look back at our footsteps in the snow. Mine came straight here. I never veered off, and I arrived here much quicker than you. But Frank, look at yours. You zigzagged all over the place and wasted so much time stopping all along the way." Frank Lloyd Wright said that was one of the best lessons he ever learned, but he took it in just the opposite way from what his uncle intended. His philosophy was, "I still arrived at the same destination, but I enjoyed all the sightseeing along the way." There should always be a balance. There should always be a balance between working hard, being focused, accomplishing dreams, and taking time to stop and smell the roses. Appreciate and enjoy the great things God has placed in your life. Some of you are at all work and no fun. If you change your approach, slow down, and enjoy the work, you will still arrive where you're supposed to be, but your life will be so much more fulfilled. I learned of this from Victoria's side of the family. They laugh. They love to have fun. They enjoy one another. At dinner, they can sit there and talk for hours. I can eat in 10 minutes and I'm done. I think I'm done. I'll think, let's get busy, let's go do something. We've got goals, we've got dreams. Recently, Victoria's mom, brother, and other family members came over after church for a late lunch. After I finished eating, I went to another room and watched a football game. 2.5 hours later, I returned and they were still sitting at the table in the same seats, laughing, talking, having fun. I was so amazed. I said to Victoria, "What are y'all talking about?" She said, "Oh, nothing. Let me tell you, they can talk about nothing better than any folks I know. Why is that? They enjoy one another's company. They have taught me how to take time to smell the roses. Think about this. God gives us a sunrise every morning. Do you ever enjoy it? He gives us stars every night. Do you ever look up and appreciate them? Maybe if you have had your mind... Wait, what? Maybe you have your... Jesus Christ. Sorry, y'all. Think about this. God gives us a sunrise every morning. Do you ever enjoy it? He gives us stars every night. Do you ever look up and appreciate them? Maybe you have your mom and dad living close by. Do you ever stop by and spend time with them? Do you ever call them and talk about nothing? God has blessed many with beautiful children. Do you enjoy them? Or are you so busy raising them and cooking their dinners, making sure they're doing their homework and making sure they're cleaning their rooms, that you don't realize and appreciate the gift God has given you? I know most parents love their children, no doubt about it. But many do not appreciate the gift that God has given you. I know most parents love their children, no doubt about it, but many don't really enjoy their children. Some parents let the pressures of raising them rob them of all the joy their children have to offer. That is so, so true. All right, we're going to take a quick little break, and I'll be right back, y'all, because we got about 4 more pages. I'll be right back. Hold that thought. And we are back. All right, let us continue. I was ready. Then I wasn't ready. Then I was ready. Some things you can't get back. When our daughter Alexandra was about 3 years old, she used to wake up at night and come to down the stairs into our room. Of course, we would have to take her back to bed. For a few months, she was waking up 2 or 3 times a night and coming down. This was not long after I took over for my father and I started pastoring. I was learning to minister, and there was a lot of stress and change just with that, so I wasn't sleeping much. One time I was telling Victoria, we've just got to do something about Alexandra. She's coming down so much. I'm just so tired. I'm not getting enough sleep. On and on. Victoria said something I'll never forget. She said, Joel, just remember, 20 years from now, you'll give anything to hear those little footprints coming down the stairs. You'll give anything to have her wanting to come into your room. That changed my whole perspective. I've begun looking forward to it. Sorry. I began looking forward to it. I treasured those moments that we could spend together. Your children may be a lot of work right now, but make sure you're enjoying them. They won't always be in the house with you. You have to realize there are some things that you cannot get back. Your children will be home for only so long. Take time for the people in your life. Don't rush out of the house without giving your spouse a hug. Don't be so busy that you cannot go on that promised date with your children. Don't come home so tired that you cannot go to the park and watch your teenager skateboard. Make memories together. 20 years from now, you will look back and say, remember when our baby woke us up every night? Remember when one child made the game-winning shot? Remember when I took you to the park and you chased them around? Remember when we'd sit around the dinner table and laugh and tell stories? Don't take now for granted. Your family needs what you have. They need your smile, your encouragement, your support, and your wisdom. They need to know you care and that they mean the world to you. It is important not to just be in the house. Don't just show up. Be involved. Be engaged. I hear someone say, it's not the time we spend together, it's the moments that we ignite to make memories. You are living in tomorrow's good old days. I know plenty of people who live in a house full of family, but they're very lonely. Everybody's busy. Everyone is doing his or her own thing. Nobody is stepping up to say, you know what? We're a family. We take time to sit together at the dinner table and catch up. We enjoy the ball game, or a dance recital, or cheering on family members. We lift up one another when falling. We enjoy what God has given us. It's easy to be too busy. It's easy to become disengaged. But if you want the most out of life, draw the line and say, I'm slowing down and enjoying the journey. I'm not taking for granted what God has given me. I'm not being a workaholic. I'm not missing the years when my children are growing up. I'm not living and so stressed out that I cannot appreciate the simple things in life. Don't miss everyday miracles. Ain't that a true statement? A few years ago, I was rounding everybody up at our house to leave for church, and we were running late. I was in a big hurry, all stressed out. Our son Jonathan was about 8 years old. Somebody had given us a label maker, one of those little machines that you can type a message on and print out the label with a sticker on the back. Jonathan was the back door typing a message. Jonathan, put that up, I said. We're late. We gotta get there right now. He said, hang on, Dad. I just need another minute, just another second. I said, Jonathan, we don't have another second. We'll be late for church. You've got to put it up. I was getting ready. Wait, I was getting more and more stressed out. About that time, he printed out the message and handed it to me. "You're the best dad in the world," it said. I thought, well, maybe we can stay here a little longer and print out a few more of those. Sometimes we become so caught up in our goals and so focused on the end result that we miss the miracles all along the way. Take the time to smell the roses. Enjoy the different personalities God has put in your life. I found it is simple things that mean the most. You don't have to take an expensive vacation to make it a memory. You can create a memory sitting at the dining room table. You can experience a memorable moment watching your children play in your backyard, or rising early with your spouse and taking a beautiful sunrise. Some of my best childhood recollections were created when all of us kids, there were five of us, would sit with my father early in the mornings and drink coffee by the fireplace. My father would take his first sip of coffee, then let out a all of us kids from 4 to 14 would do the same thing. We would have a contest to see who could do the best. We laughed and had so much fun together. My brother Paul said his children drink still. My brother Paul says his children still drink coffee early in the morning, sip it, and say their ahs. I don't drink coffee anymore. I'm a little bit holier than he is. Our family didn't have a lot of money when we were little, but my parents were very, very innovative. Occasionally, they would drive us to the nearby airport where it wasn't busy, and we would ride the shuttle train together. That was free. We loved it. You would have thought they were taking us to an amusement park. We would go back and forth between Terminal A and Terminal B for an hour or two. I'm sure people thought that family is so lost. They don't know what they're doing. You know what we were doing? We were making memories. We were having fun together as a family. Life is what we make it. When our children were younger, we took them to Disneyland. Alexander was about 5 years old. It was very much a struggle getting there that day. There was a lot of traffic. We were in a rental car and we had difficulty finding a place to park. There was a long line just to catch a tram to get to the park. By the time we finally arrived in the park, it was very stressed out. Or I was very stressed out. We weren't there 15 minutes when little Alexandra said, "Daddy, I want to go back to the hotel and go swimming." I said, "No, no, no, Alexandra. We can swim anywhere. We can swim at home. We're at Disneyland, the magical kingdom." "Daddy, I don't want to be at Disneyland," she insisted. "I want to go swimming." I tried to win her over by saying we might see Mickey Mouse or Snow White. I promised her that so much fun awaited us. "I don't want to have fun here," she said. I finally had to say, "Listen, Alexandra, I paid $50 for your ticket. You'll have fun whether you like it or not." Seriously, it doesn't take a lot of money to have fun. Many times it's the simple things that we remember the most, like the hotel swimming pool. Cassie was a huge baseball fan, and for his son's 8th birthday, he bought him a baseball autographed by all of the New York Yankees. They had just won the World Series. He paid major money for it. Cassie was sure his son, Logan, would treasure it for years to come. But when he gave the ball to his son, the boy wasn't excited about it at all. In fact, he just looked at it and put it off to the side. Casey was so disappointed. "Logan, don't you like the ball?" "Yeah, Dad, but I'd like it a lot better if somebody hadn't written all over the names." I would like it better if somebody hadn't written all those names on it. Like, "Little Logan, we must learn to enjoy the simple things in life. Today, everything is so complicated. We have 500 channels on TV, the internet floods us with information, and now we can access all these distractions on our cell phones and iPads and other devices. We can never escape from our work or our diversions. If you are not careful, you will fall into the trap of thinking that you should always be busy and that you must always be involved in something big or an excitement. Slow down and enjoy the simple things. Turn off the television and spend more time with your family. Take a walk, go for a bike ride, play games together. Do those special things that you don't need to pay for. No ticket required. Growing up, we played a family game of hide and seek. My mom and dad would let us hide, and then they would track us down and chase us all through the house. Playing that game with them was the highlight of my childhood days. My favorite memory is the time when my sister Lisa became stuck in the dryer. She got stuck in the dryer. Thank God we had her on a permanent press. Simple pleasures are the best. You can have great wealth and be miserable and lonely, or you can have very little and still be happy and fulfilled. It's all in your approach to life. A wealthy father decided to show his 7-year-old son how the poor people live. They drove from their big home in the city to a little farm in the country where their friends and his poor family lived. They spent the night with the family, and in the little wooden frame house, they had no television, no fancy furniture, no carpet. Since there was no entertainment in the house, this family sat out on the front porch where they sang, told stories, and laughed together. After being there 2 nights, the wealthy father and son headed back home. The father was very curious to see how his son had learned his intended lesson. So he asked him how he liked it. The little boy said, "Oh, Dad, I really loved it." "Well, son, do you see how poor people can be?" "Yes, Dad, I do." "Tell me, what exactly did you learn?" "Well, Dad, I learned that we have 1 dog at home, and they have 4. We have a swimming pool in the middle of our backyard, but they have a stream with no end. We have fancy lanterns on our house, but they have the stars. We watch TV by ourselves at night, but they sit around as a family and have fun." His dad shook his head, knowing that his plan had backfired. But then his son added, "Dad, thank you so much for showing me how poor we really are. Value what matters to you. If you have people in your life to love, you are rich. If you have your health, you are rich. If you can hear your little girl's footsteps coming down the stairs, you are rich. If you can talk with your family about nothing, you are rich. Maintain the proper perspective. Slow down and enjoy the simple things in life. Take more walks through the park. If you have people in your life to love, you are rich. Look at the stars at night and think about God's goodness. When you wake up in the morning, don't just drink your coffee, sip it and say, "Ah." Ignite that moment. Slow down and enjoy the journey. There will always be another dream, another goal, and another challenge. Take time for what matters most. Don't let yourself become so focused and driven, so busy with what you have to do each day, that you miss the miracles along the way. Imitate Frank Lloyd Wright and start zigzagging. Start enjoying the different things God has put in your life. Someone said, "It's not that life is so short, it's that we wait so long to begin." Why don't you begin today? Hug your children before you leave each day. Give your spouse a kiss. Call your parents and tell them how much you love them. Go visit those relatives you've been meaning to see. We're not here forever. It's good to work hard, but learn how to turn it off. Stay in balance and play hard as well. If you'll make the decision to slow down and enjoy the journey, you'll experience the fullness of what God has in store for you. When you come to the end of your life, you'll have no regrets. You'll be able to say, "I made the most of my time here. I enjoyed my family, I enjoyed my friends, and I finished my course with joy." Wow. Well, that was it, y'all. That was chapter 5. Come back shortly and we'll go ahead and get into part 2, which is know what to ignore. And we'll get right into chapter 6. Hopefully, we'll be getting to the middle point sometime soon. So remember, y'all, I love y'all. So please be kind, rewind, approve new dreams because, well, every single one of you deserve them. Yes, you do. Know that You are beautiful. You're blessed. You're breaking down barriers, boundaries, and borders. Have hope, faith, and love during these trying times because they tough. Know that every single one of you is a boss. Most of all, my friends, every single one of you is a motherfucking beast. And beast don't break. My name's Kristopher motherfucking McCoy. Superman here reading to you. Your Osteen's every day of Friday. Reading chapter 5. I hope you like, comment, share, subscribe. If you write me, I'll write you back in 48 hours or less. Peace and love, y'all. Peace and love.